Hello, I think I'm live. My other device does not say I'm live yet, but I think that I am. I'm just going to sit and crochet for a little bit. Oh, there we go. Now it's showing up as I'm live. Okay, cool. That's what I wanted to see. Hello, hello. It looks like someone has joined me. If you're there, pop something in the chat. Can you hear me? I think my mic is working. I'm going to pre-apologize for any noise that you might hear. I live in a multi-dwelling house, and there are people upstairs who like to wear their shoes in the house. I am working on a pretty exciting project. It is a kit with a big yarn company that I've never kitted with before. Hello, Stephanie. I have never done a kit with this company before. I've worked with them a lot of times, but we've never agreed on a kit. And I'm finally doing a kit with them. This one's going to come out in September, tentatively September 11th. It's a little checkerboard sweater. That's the back, actually. This is the front. It's going to have sleeves as well. It's a big, comfy, oversized sweater, and I'm using Lion Brand's Woolies DK. Oh, and I just let it slip who the kit is with. It's with Lion Brand. This one was challenging for me initially when I did up my swatch and when I was trying to determine how many checkerboards to do across the body and then how to fit the triangles in the checkerboard. It was tricky, but I think I figured it out for all of the sizes, so I should be able to make this into a pattern that is relatively beginner friendly if all goes according to plan, which it often doesn't, but according to plan would be nice. I wish it would let me see who's in here. I can see that there's people here, but unless you say hi, I don't think I can see who's here. So say hi if you're here. And I will start answering some of the questions. So here's a funny story. The anonymous question asker thing that I posted in my Instagram stories, I think not I think, 99.999% confidence here that it automatically sends you a couple of questions kind of spaced out over time to force you to come back to the app to see. Um, and it's definitely something that's geared to a generation younger than me. There was one that said, "What would you say if I asked you on a date?" And only like 2 people had seen my story at that point, and I was like, "I really don't think one of those 2 people asked that question." And then there was another one that was like, "So many people want you for real." It's like, "Okay." But in that anonymous question box, I did get a couple of questions. That one's juicy. We'll save that one for later. So this one said, "Do you still name your patterns after influential women? And can you share any of their stories for your recent releases?" Um, to be honest, there was only ever one design, I think, that was named after an actual influential woman. The plan was to do that. I don't know why I strayed away from that. I stuck with women's names for all of my designs. Um, but no, they're not all after influential women anymore. Some of them are named after people that I know, some are named after characters, some kind of come by their name naturally. If you watched my most recent video, I talked about the designs that were the hardest to, oh my goodness, upstairs neighbors. I talked about the designs that were hardest to crochet. Excuse me. Hardest to crochet and hardest to write up. And the one that was hardest to crochet was my Bridget ballet neck. And that was a good alliteration there. Bridget ballet, liked that. But then also I played up her personality being bratty because it was such a hard project to do for me. It's not a difficult project for makers. It was for me as the designer though. So that's kind of more where they come from now. My circle yoke sweaters that have color work on them are all named after different goddesses. So Marzana is the goddess of death and rebirth. She came to me during the fall of 2020 and released, I think, in January of 2021. And that was when we were kind of coming out of the deepest, darkest depths of the pandemic. We finally had a vaccine that was starting to be distributed worldwide, and I was like, this seems like the perfect name for her. She's like a winter goddess, and yeah, we were coming out of a really, really dark time in late 2020 and early 2021. One question that I ended up answering on my Instagram stories only because I had answered it in my previous YouTube video was, how has your I cannot read. How has your style of writing patterns evolved over time? And I think it's just gotten better and more detailed is what I would say, and more consistent. I used to probably not have as consistent of formatting in my designs, like making sure that I have commas and periods in the same places and like spaces in the same places. Wording of certain steps or certain techniques has gotten more consistent over time as well too. And yeah, it's just gotten better through testing, through feedback from customers. And yeah, I answered that one in the YouTube video the other day, about that. Okay. Well, here, let's start with this one. How is Boomer doing? Boomer is laying on the floor right at my feet, so I will get him and you can say hi. Come here, buddy. You're wanted. Come here. Here is Mr. Boomer. He's doing great. He currently has 0 vet appointments on the calendar, which we love. And he has a new hobby. His new hobby is riding on the front of a stand-up paddleboard. He is a big, big fan of that. He likes sniffing the lake breeze up there. He likes looking at the birds, and he likes having naps in the sunshine up on the front of a stand-up paddleboard. Um, yeah, you probably heard that last year was a difficult year for this boy. He was diagnosed with a cancerous tumor in October and had that cancerous tumor removed in November. The veterinary oncologist said that we could come in basically every 3 months for the rest of his life and put him through a like mildly sedated series of tests to see if the cancer was growing back. And if the cancer was growing back, that could potentially mean more surgery or needing chemo or radiation. And since this little boy is almost 16 years old, I decided that I am not going to do that. I'm not going to put him through the stress of testing every 3 months. I'm not going to put myself through the stress of testing every 3 months. And it was also $1,400 every 3 months. Not really in the budget either. I mean, I would spend $1 million on this dog. I would bankrupt myself. I don't care. But it just seemed like more emotional and financial stress than we need for a 16-year-old dog. And we caught the tumor so early that I'm pretty confident that they got it all. There's no cancer in him anymore. That's what we're living with. And then prior to his cancer diagnosis, he was also diagnosed with liver disease last year, but he's medicated for that now, and his numbers are much more stable, so stable that he was able to get his full dental cleaning done at the start of May. So he is in tip-top shape and living his very best life. Let me see. Yeah, you can see him. There he is. Being a little snuggle bug. He sleeps a lot, but he's almost 16. Okay, my favorite flower, lilacs. It's lilac season. I love lilacs. I wish that they bloomed year-round because I go on walks specifically to sniff lilacs. I love this one. I asked another designer friend this one too, and she had a very similar answer to me. What would you charge for your patterns if you knew it wouldn't lower your sales? And both my gut instinct and the gut instinct from this other designer was around $30 Canadian, because that is typically where you see sewing patterns. And what knit and crochet designers do is pretty similar to what knit or what sewing designers do, maybe even more work because the actual stitching of a crochet or knit sweater takes a lot longer. So yeah, it would probably be around the $30 Canadian mark, which that would be like low 20s US, $23, $24 probably US. What are my biggest pet peeves with patterns from other designers? Ooh, biggest pet peeve, without naming names, is when other designers don't offer pattern support for their patterns. If you know some designers that don't offer pattern support, trust me, I also know about it and I hate it. I think it gives us all a bad rep. And I think, I mean, what do they say? Rising tide raises all ships. I think as crochet and knit designers, there are some pretty basic standards that we should all be following, because let's say somebody, a crocheter who hasn't found me yet, finds a different, bigger designer than me and makes one of their, or tries to make one of their sweaters. It doesn't turn out, or they can't get through the pattern. There's no pattern support offered. That person is so unlikely to continue to want to make crocheted garments. So then they're probably never going to follow me. So I think it's part of like a community obligation to encourage our testers and our customers to do things like achieve a blocked gauge, make sure that we're providing pattern support. Somebody is snoring beside me. I don't know if my microphone is picking that up or not, but he is out. Yeah, I think that is an obligation to all designers because it lifts the whole community up when we're doing those basic things. So yeah, pattern support. Pattern support would probably be the biggest one for me. Let's see, what do we got here? What's one part of your business you want to expand on or go into? Right now, I'm focusing on expanding more into the education area of crochet garment making. I touched on this a little bit too in my previous video, in how everything that I learned about garment making, I learned from blogs and YouTube videos and books that were based on knitting or sewing. There wasn't really anything out there for crochet. I remember when I first learned about short rows in knitting, and I don't really knit. I don't understand knitting that well. So when I first learned about short rows in knitting and how it like makes the front of your sweater or garment slightly lower than the back so you don't feel like you're being choked out by your clothing, I could not find any crochet resources about that. Now there are a few, but they're still very few and far between. And that's just one example, short rows. There's lots of videos out there about blocking knit sweaters, but not blocking crochet sweaters. So it's not necessarily repeating the same information, but making it accessible to crocheters when they're Googling how to crochet or how to block a crocheted sweater. I want there to be results that come up because right now there's probably none or very few. Oh, I'm not scrolling on this. That is a screenshot. Oh, this is a good one too. And I'll probably talk about this in something I have coming up in June. I'm definitely going to talk about it. What was the transition from van life back to city life? It was pretty smooth, to be honest. I was feeling very ready to have some more space. I was feeling ready to sit still for a bit. I was feeling ready to not have to drive around to find a place to sleep, drive around to find somewhere to get water, drive around. Like it was, van life was becoming very chore heavy, and I expected it to be less chore heavy. And doing it completely solo was challenging as well. Like I saw a lot of couples out there traveling in their campers together, and then at least you had one person who was like looking up campsites while one person was making dinner, and one person was driving, one person was preparing a snack in the back or whatever. But all of that fell on me, and traveling full-time in the van or even living full-time in the van was at least a part-time job, if not a full-time job. Whereas having a home base, like I don't have to worry about water. I just turn on the tap and it's there. I don't have to worry about my propane running out while I'm in the middle of cooking dinner. I don't have to worry about making sure that I'm parked in a place that has enough sun so that my batteries stay charged from the solar, from the sun. it's really a lot easier creature comfort wise. Um, I do miss not being in the city all of the time though with the van, like just being able to park up beside a lake for 2 weeks and just live there, was really, really nice and peaceful. For those of you who are on this live, I know there's at least a couple of you who have visited me in this apartment. You'll know that living in the middle of a city, there's noises, there's people being people, and that's definitely challenging because living out in the van, I while I did meet up with other van lifers, for the most part, most of my van life experience was in very rural, off-grid locations that were just like quiet, and I just only had to hear the birds and the frogs, not the neighbors having a domestic and the neighbors having a loud backyard party or whatever. Well, this one kind of relates to a question I already answered. What's one thing you wish pattern makers did more? Pattern makers. Does that mean designers or makers who are working off of a pattern? Um, Gauge swatch, block learn. I think this one means makers. So people who are purchasing patterns or working off of patterns off of websites or YouTube or whatever. Um, Yeah, the biggest one would be definitely gauging. I understand I don't wanna do a gauge swatch either. Very few people want to do a gauge swatch, but when you're doing something like garments, I've said it before, I'll say it again, it's the only way to verify that it is going to be the right size. Um, Again, apologies for anybody who's just come in and can hear snoring in the background. That's this guy. He's snoozing hard. Um I think too, especially when it comes to crochet makers, there does seem to be a gap in the confidence and therefore a gap in the independence versus knitters. Like you'll see a knit pattern from Vogue knitting from the 1960s that's like 2 columns and it's a whole sweater. Whereas with crochet patterns, um, garment making and crochet is a lot newer and there's a lot fewer crochet garment patterns out there than there are knitting. And as I mentioned previously, a lot fewer crochet garment resources or garment making resources out there. So I think there's a, a lack in knowledge and therefore a lack in confidence in garment making for crocheters. So to answer the question, I think just a little touch more confidence and independence. And that's a big reason why I'm doing so many educational videos to help people gain that confidence and that skill set to like wing it a little bit, to fill in the blanks a little bit, to make sure that they're reading all parts of the pattern because often the answer already exists within the pattern. He is I really hope that the microphone's picking that up. Oh, goodness. Okay. Is there a design you wish people bought more? Yes. I posted a reel about it recently. You're gonna get to look at my bum here. Um, this is one of my most slept on patterns, and honestly, one of my favorites. Oh, hi. I'm sorry, little man. I'm sorry. Did I wake you up? Excuse the ends, but it's my Beth tee. This was styled after a top that the character Beth wore in The Queen's Gambit. And I was like really, really concerned that I wasn't going to pull it off, that it was going to look a lot different than the top that she wore. The top she wore was like a fabric top as well, which added difficulty in recreating in crochet. But I nailed it. And I'm so proud of it, and it's a side-to-side construction as well too, which also makes it a little bit more difficult from a designer's perspective, making sure that all of the shaping is in the right places and the grading is done well. Um, Beth. I wish more people would buy Beth. She's so nice. And also it's just like a flowy, fingering way, oversized t-shirt, which is my favorite thing to wear. So Beth, the answer is Beth. And you know what? While Beth is here, I'm going to weave in the ends because I brought my needles. I brought all of the different sized ones and my scissors with me today to do that, because one thing about me is I stay not weaving my ends in, and I stay having it as a goal to be better at weaving my ends in. But alas, I'm not that great at it. I'm wearing my Florence tee today, and I was like, oh yeah, like I definitely weaved the ends in on this. And then as I was putting it on, I didn't. I thought that I had. I didn't. I thought I was getting better. This was the pattern that I released last month, and I was like, oh yeah, I've been consistent for a while at weaving my ends in. No. No, I'm lying to myself. I did not weave my ends in on this, and I did not weave my ends in on at least 90% of the items in this cabinet. It's also on my goal list to take everything out of this cabinet, decide what I want to be here and what I don't want to be here. Some of these things are not my designs. Some are things that I tested. Some are knit things. And I want to put, unfortunately, some of them in storage because this is not a good look right now. It is bursting at the seams. And I've also noticed while filming my YouTube videos, because I film it kind of more on this angle so that this is the background in my YouTube videos, that the colors that you're seeing most in my YouTube videos are just like my neutrals and my grays. I want to bring my pinks from the bottom because they're behind my body and behind this chair, and bring them up so that it's more of a pink background, because I love pink. That's why about a third of this cabinet is like pinks and purples, maybe even more than a third. And I'm wearing one, and I have a pink project in front of me too that I'm going to show soon. It's an upcoming design. I don't think I've shared mine online at all. I've shared some testers versions. I shared a tester version of it today in my Instagram stories actually, but I have not shared mine. Where did I put the scissors? Right there. Dangerous spot. So this was my April design. Then May was my Bianca crop. Let me show you what I've got planned for the rest of the summer. My testers are finishing this up. I'm going to have to back this camera up to show you because it's a big one. My testers are finishing this up literally today. They're all sending their photos in the group chat. Oh, there's my phone of this dress. This also doesn't have its ends weaved in. This is my Maddie dress. Pretend that that isn't there. So the Maddie dress has this really pretty crab stitch detailing that I use to, oh, where am I pointing? Here we go. I use it to seam up the front and go all the way around the edges. It has a wonderful elasticated waistband, which is super easy to do. And I'm going to do a YouTube video on how to add elastic to your pieces. So there will be a video to follow along for that. And everybody's favorite dress feature, Maddie has big old pockets. I've got 2 pockets. And when we were talking about how my designs and how my pattern writing has improved over time, one thing that I took into consideration when making Maddie is that not every person wants these teeny tiny little straps. Some people want wider straps, but I was not really sure how I was going to execute that, since the dress technically starts right here with one stitch and then works out. But I made it work. So there are a variety of strap widths on this, and I will be sharing tester photos soon on my Instagram, and I will share them here on YouTube when this pattern releases. And if I had that date, it is releasing June 12th, I believe. Does that make sense? No, June 5th. June 5th. June 5th. Thursday, June 5th to my email subscribers, June 6th to everybody else, 9 a.m. And that's the Maddie dress. Oh, for my Maddie dress, I used LaRue cotton, an indie dyer. Her name's Kathleen, and she has the most amazing natural plant fiber bases for her yarn. And this one is one that she actually got milled special for her. Like, tell me you're a big shot in the indie dyeing world. You got yarn specifically milled for you. This yarn is 50-50 cotton and bamboo, and it's so soft. It doesn't have that chalkiness that cotton can sometimes have. It has the silkiness of the bamboo in there. 10 out of 10. Love it. I've used LaRue for a lot of my dresses actually, but that's my first time using that base. Definitely recommend it. So that is June. Then July. I don't even think I've shared tester photos of this yet. Some testers, Maddie, have posted this, but it is a button up with a strong crease in it right now because it was just folded. A sleeveless collared button up. So cute. This one I feel like is a total dress up or dress down option. Like, you could wear this to work, you could wear this out for drinks, you could wear this to a flea market. Like, I feel like this one is a super versatile piece that would be really great for a capsule wardrobe type situation. That is the Miranda. I think I called her the Miranda button up. That's coming out in July. I don't have these dates on this calendar, but probably July 10th, maybe July 3rd. It's the first or second Thursday, Friday combo of the month that I release my designs. Then this one I did share on Instagram because I did an open tester call for it, and she does not have a name yet. So if you have any name suggestions, throw them in the comments. I'm open to it. As mentioned before, I name all of my designs after women. So if there's any like woman's name that's just hitting for this, it is a skirt with a curved hem that's split at the side. And this pattern will have the option for an elastic waist as well, just like the Maddie dress. But I chose to do mine with an I-cord because I like to try different things out. Versatility. So that skirt will be coming out in August. For this, oh, I didn't talk about the yarn that I used for Miranda. This yarn, I used Terrapin, also a wonderful plant fiber indie dyer. This base is a linen cotton blend, so it has a little bit more structure than the cotton bamboo from LaRue. This one from Terrapin does have a little bit more structure, which I wanted for the collared shirt. Then the yarn for this one is also Lion Brand. I was working with Lion Brand at the start of this live. This is also Lion Brand Woolies DK. This one is not going to be a kit as of right now, but I'm going to keep working on the influencer guy. He doesn't like to do skirts and dresses. He doesn't like to do things that have elastic or buttons or anything in them, but judging by the response from when I posted that skirt on Instagram last week, I think she's going to be pretty popular, and I think Lion Brand will be missing out if they don't kit it. So if anybody from Lion Brand is watching, you want to do a kit with that skirt? Yes? No? For those who weren't here at the start, this is what I am going to be kitting with Lion Brand. I'm still working on it, hoping to finish it up this week so that I can do a tester call within the next week or two. My plan for fall is the theme texture. So everything is going to have texture. So for September, this kit with Lion Brand is a checkerboard of texture. It currently looks like a vest, but it is going to be a full sweater. There will be sleeves. And I'm just about done. I only have like 3 or 4 rows left on the, or rounds left on the bottom there. It is like a big oversized boxy, slightly drop shoulder design. I'm also using a different shoulder shaping method than I typically do in this style of construction, a la Sandra from Nomad Stitches when she does the shoulder shaping in the back. It's really easy, and it just makes it fit your body so much better. So this is my first time using that. We'll see how much I like it. You might see this in future designs. I like that it gives the shoulders like an appropriate amount of slope. It's really hard to tell when holding it up, but they're higher here than they are here, which makes it fit your body a little nicer. Anyways, those are my projects that I'm working on. October, I have the yarn for, but I can't show you because it's a non-released colorway right now. But get excited because I am doing cables. You heard me. I'm doing cables. I know crochet cables are a love-hate for a lot of people, but I'm hoping that the vision that I have comes out in the yarn, and even those who are typically like, crochet cables look gross and bulky, we don't like them, will still like these ones because the vision is here. I just need to be able to execute it. I don't know yet. Talk to me in 2 or 3 weeks. Okay. Where was I on this? Oh, is there a design you wish more people bought? Yes. What got you into crochet? Okay, this one I did touch on in my last video as well. I don't know what the exact inciting incident was, but I know it was over the Christmas holidays. I must have seen something online where I was like, I need to make that. And it was something crocheted, obviously. And I was like frantically going through all of my mom's craft stuff and her knitting basket because she was sure she had a crochet hook in there. She didn't. And I had to wait until all the stores were open after Christmas in order to do it. I think it was an infinity scarf because infinity scarves were all the rage in the late aughts. Okay, then the very first question I got in the question box on Instagram was the most difficult question for any pattern designer to answer, especially one like me that has like 140-ish designs. Favorite pattern you've ever designed? I don't know how to answer that. Like, so there's different ones that are favorites in different ways. The one that's standing out the most to me right now was the one that came out in early 2021. And when that pattern came out, the response to it was huge. And I don't know if it was just like a perfect storm of like all of the pandemic crafters wanted to try a garment, or the fact that I had just taken my business full time kind of right around when I got the yarn for that sweater that then came out a few months later. Um, but when that pattern dropped, it was the moment where I was like, oh my God, like I'm actually I'm doing this. And not only am I doing this, but like this could be my career. Like this is making me for real money. Um, that was this lady right here, my Danica pullover. Um, Looking at her now though, I'm like, there's so many things that I would and could do better in this sweater. Um, it's oh, it's facing me. It's a cowl neck, circle yoke. So you start at the top, work the cowl, work the yoke, work the body, work the sleeves. The top of the cowl is like rolled over, and so are the cuffs and the hem. This was one of my first designs that I ever put short rows into so that the cowl wasn't like choking you. It was sitting forward a little bit. Um, and yeah, there are definitely some things that I would change about it. So it's like, it's my favorite pattern because this was the pattern that felt like the biggest pivot point for me, where I was like, I've got this. Like this business is going to be successful. But now 4 years later, looking back on it, I'm like, oh, I really need to revisit that pattern and make it better. But this was this was definitely the one where I was like, yeah, I am a business person. Definitely. Other favorites. I really love my Marzana um, circle yoke. She's the first one I ever did with color work. Um, and that one was also really well received by the people of the internet. Um, yeah, my dresses are my real faves though. The one I wear the most, which is also another one that really didn't get as much attention as she deserved, is my Harlow circle yoke sweater. Oh my gosh, don't cause an avalanche. This is why I need to redo this cupboard. It is bursting at the seams. My Harlow, and this one, I think the ends are all weaved in because I wear it all the time. It is also with Terrapin, the same dyer that I have the button up coming out in July with. And it has this beautiful Y stitch down the sleeve that like creates these little triangles of skin poking through. I just love this one so much. I wear this one definitely more than anything else. It has short rows in it so that the back sits up a little bit higher. It's super comfy to wear. I just love the fit of it. I love the yarn. I love the color of the yarn. And for some reason, not so great in the sales. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I think I've gotten through. Oh no, I haven't. I saved the juicy one. And a few of you who would be interested in that answer are here. Um, the question was, what's the best friendship the yarn community brought to you, and the worst? So, the best friendship, I can't say just one because there are 4 people who will come after me if I were to pick just one of them. Um, We'll start with the more local ones, Stephanie by Stephanie Aaron and Jen from Muster Pattern. I have known them for many, many years now. They were pretty early, especially Jen. Jen was a tester for me, like, when I was still only designing accessories, I think. So we're talking like 2016, 17, coming up on a decade now. And Jen lives just around the corner from me now. And then Stephanie became a tester for me, I want to say in like 2018, 2019, and then is now a designer herself. And I have learned so much about garment construction from her. She's just the way that her brain works is marvelous. So Stephanie, if you're still here, hi, I love you. And I love how your brain works. And then my two long distance besties that I basically live stream my day to every day, Maddie and Kira. Kira is also a designer, and I actually looked back in my DMs with Stephanie a while ago, because I sent one of Kira's Instagram posts to Stephanie, and I was like, who is this? Like, we have to keep our eye on her. She is designing some really cool, beautiful pieces. Like, let's keep an eye on her. And that was like the first impression I had of Kira. And then over the last 3 to 5 years, we've just become like this. And yeah, she is also a designer as well too. And then Maddie, I think she's tested more of my designs than most. Yeah, she's up there with Chris Ho. The two of them have tested like 90% of my designs. Yeah, and it was kind of fun getting to visit and meet some of my yarny friends while on the road in the van. Unfortunately, the first time I was on the road and in the van, and Maddie probably still holds a grudge against me for this, but I was so cold, and the borders between Canada and the US had just opened. So like that border opened and I just went south, like get me to the heat, get me to the sunshine. And I blasted through St. Louis and I did not stop and see Maddie. We weren't as close then as we are now. I would never do that now. But I wouldn't be surprised if she still had a little bit of a grudge. So yeah, those are like my 4 closest yarny community friends. Oh, she just texted me. She says, I do hold a grudge. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I don't blame you. I did go back to St. Louis last year, and we went to a Leafs versus Blues hockey game together. Maddie, I love you. Sorry, I blasted through St. Louis in 2021. I was cold, and I didn't know how cool you were then. My apologies. Where was I going next with this? I don't know. Oh, then the second part of this question is, what's the worst? To be honest, like any friendships that I've made in the yarny community, I don't really have any negative things that have happened with any of those friendships. Like obviously there's the closer friendships and like the next, there's like different tiers of friendships in any realm of your life, right? So those are my like 4 close friends who are barely even yarny friends anymore because they are like my best friends. And then there's like the next kind of circle of friends and the next circle of friends. And I love all of the friends that I have made in this yarny community. There are some people in this yarny community who I was never friends with, but those shall remain nameless. Did I say something about this not having its ends woven in yet? They don't exist if you tuck them in. Speaking of weaving in ends, that brings me to my friend Liz. She is also one who is a queen of just tucking the ends in. So hi, Liz, if you see this, I love you. Okay, those are all of the questions that I got. Does anybody who is here have any questions at all for me? I was planning on spending an hour and I'm already at 50 minutes. I really didn't think that I'd be able to talk to myself in an empty room for that long, but here I am. She's a yapper. I'm gonna look and see if I weaved in my ends on Danica. Nope, I did not. There's some right there. Yeah. I'm consistent, okay? I'm not putting these three, Danica, Harlow, and Beth, back in there until they have their ends woven in. We'll see. That's what I'm gonna tell myself. That is what I'm going to tell myself. Yep, got through all of those questions. Okay, well, I'm going to, well, I'll show you Boomer one more time, and then I'm going to just pick up my whip and do a little crocheting. Come here, Booms. I know, I'm so mean waking you up, but I've got to prove that it wasn't somebody snoring in the room. It was just you. His face is so sweet. Say hi to the people of the internet. He's so sleepy. I was dog sitting this weekend. Boomer has a friend named Bobby, and Bobby was here for the weekend. And that was just exhausting, entertaining all weekend, wasn't it? Yeah. Having to share my toys and my water bowl. Okay. He's gone. You good, buddy? He's so silly. Yeah, he's doing great. He's almost 16. His birthday is in less than 2 months. He will be 16 on July 16th. It is his champagne or golden birthday this year. So if you're in Southern Ontario and want to attend a dog's 16th birthday party, let me know. You're all invited. Everyone is invited. All the dogs are invited. Champagne birthday. Yeah, I call it a champagne birthday too, but then somebody told me they call it their golden birthday. Message retracted. You took away the champagne. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting day. So since I've been living in Southern Ontario, there's this dog pool that is probably about a 35 to 40-minute drive. Oh, it was supposed to be the champagne bottle emoji. Yeah. Okay. I'll allow the retraction. So there's a dog pool. It's those dock jumping training places for dogs. But you can just rent it by the half hour or by the hour. And this summer this July 16th will be our third July 16th in a row going to that dog pool for Boomer's birthday. The first year I did it, I was dog sitting at the time. So Boomer and his friend Phoebe went together to the pool. And then last year it was just Boomer and I. And this year, I don't think we have any dog friends that are coming with us, but we might have a human friend that'll come with us and go swimming on Bubs' little birthday. And then after the swim, we'll come home and have a dog birthday party in the park, because I only live probably about 200 meters from a really big park in my city, and Boomer loves that park, and there's so much room in the middle of the park for dogs to run and play and humans to have snacks, and there's picnic tables and things. So we will definitely be having a puppy birthday party. It's midweek, but I don't care. I sent out an RSVP or invite rather to a bunch of my friends. And I was like, just so you know, this is basically the only thing that I'm going to invite you to in my life. Like if I get married, I'm probably not having a big wedding where I'm going to invite a million people. So I expect you to show up to my dog's 16th birthday party because it's the most important event for me. Okay. I don't know if my microphone is picking that up or not, but I live a few doors down from a train track, and there's a train rolling by right now. And I think it feels more loud than it actually is, because it kind of rumbles the house a little bit. Oh my gosh, he's now sleeping under my desk. It's super cute. Sweetest boy of the whole wide world. And I'm sorry if any of you have boy dogs. They're not as sweet as my boy. They just not. They can't be. Let me turn that. See if I got any more questions in here yet. Oh, of course that didn't upload earlier. Instagram. I posted right before I came live, and I said, I'm going live on YouTube. Come and join me. And I shared the link. It didn't upload. Still says it's uploading. The forever Instagram problem. That's another reason that I'm working more on my YouTube channel. I have realized that I like creating and I like editing long form video content. And I find it is less stressful and less hustle than like the daily grind of feeding the Instagram or TikTok or whatever other social media algorithm. Yes, YouTube also has those social media grind hustle aspects to it, but doing educational content on YouTube is also like a search engine. So if I create a tutorial like I'm planning with the Maddie dress, where I'll say, this is how you, like 3 different ways or 5 different ways to add elastic into your crochet garments. Like people could find that video 5 years from now when they're working on a design that isn't even mine. Whereas on Instagram, if I posted a how to add elastic to your crochet dresses, no one would ever see that after 24 to 48 hours. So YouTube is one where I'm really pushing myself to grow. And like YouTube as well. And I mean, I've been saying this for years, but I really need to get more consistent at keeping my Pinterest rocking, because Pinterest, like YouTube, is more of a search engine than a social media. And therefore, people can find your pins on Pinterest for a lot longer than they can find a Facebook post or an Instagram post or a TikTok. With a quick little search, they can find the beginner-friendly circle yoke pattern that I posted 5 years ago. Sorry if you just heard my tummy gurgling there. Apparently I'm hungry. Almost dinner time. I do think I am going to say farewell here soon. For those of you who showed up, I appreciate it very much. I hope that you enjoyed the sneak peeks that I gave and that you're looking forward to this fall's texture theme. There's the word, texture theme that I've got coming up. And that I'm doing my first ever kit with Lion Brand. I'm pretty hyped about it. All right, everybody. I'll pick Mr. Boomer up to say goodbye because honestly, he is the true star of the show here. Come here, Mr. Booms. You got to say bye to the people of the internet. Come here. This is his cutest trick. I don't know if he's going to do it, but I'm going to try. Boomer, can you say bye? Oh, he's not going to do it. Boomer, say bye. He doesn't want any standing up. Boomer. Say bye. Good boy. Bye, friends.